Back here once again. Thank you guys and gals for sticking around today. For all the brand new faces out there in this trade room right now, we really appreciate you spending your valuable time with us here in this trade room. We know you guys and gals are busy people. Please take a moment real quick to remember that there is risk out there in these markets. Please read our disclaimers. Please read the risk disclaimer we provide to you guys as members. And remember out there's risk. Now, we're going to make sure that we manage this risk by using our trading plans. We're going to manage this risk. Boy, what a great example today, how we took that huge short trade today and that trailing stop just kept on cranking lower, right, and kept managing the risk for us. So we're going to use emotional control. We're going to use a simple trading plan. And we're also going to use some new technology, right, some automated trade management systems and tools. Excuse me. So we know that we have an automated trailing stop that can help to eliminate risk. We follow a trading plan to eliminate risk. And again, a good day today. Good day today. Take a moment, talk to somebody you trust regarding your risk capital. Don't forget, if you're a guest right now, type in those questions. Check out the day today. Had a pretty decent day considering the situation. We woke up this morning knowing that it was a Wednesday. And not your average Wednesday. Wednesdays, of course, are crude inventory days. And just like clockwork, we jumped into action this morning. We said right away, let's be careful about crude before 10:30. But don't be afraid of it. We need to be aware of the situation. Markets are usually going to be a little bit slower ahead of the major news like that. So crude inventory is expected at 10:30 this morning. We knew we were going to get a little bit of a slop and chop on crude today. It's the way it works. Began the day here with a wave pattern long. We went up, made new higher highs, took the trade long. It was actually a picture perfect example of a trigger for a wave pattern today. It's just too bad it didn't give us anything to work with, because it quickly failed, stopped me out, and you're going to see we then got in short. This is when we really got a taste of how sour the price action can be during the summer and during those hour or so before crude inventories come out. We already knew that the summertime months, now remember, I can still trade summertime months, but I need to be aware that there are going to be windows of opportunity. They're going to open and close during the summertime. Normally, if there's no news, there won't be any good market personality. So before the news, after the news, we got to be careful. This morning, we knew, again, going into a summertime Wednesday, we knew crude oil was destined to be a little bit sloppy to begin. So we kind of took that and we traded accordingly. We still followed a very simple plan. I got short off a wedge high for my second trade today. My second trade today was the right idea, but it was a little bit too early. I got bounced out at a -10 stop. I trade 4 contracts, 10 tick stop, 40 tick loss, $10 per tick. I lose $400. The best part about this was that once we got stopped out of the short, the buyers tried to grab hold. Let me show you where it happened. I got short right here. Here was my first trade short. My first trade short happens right up here. And as you can see here, I get stopped out of it. And we were, for a moment there, if you recall, right, 2-step pattern short, got stopped out of it. If you recall, we began to consider 82 for the reversal because we thought, well, if the sellers weren't that strong there, then sure enough, the buyers are going to push this thing higher. We never got to 82. We never ended up getting to the 82 long. And sure enough, what happens is a perfect example. Now, keep in mind, there's a wedge down here. Okay, there's your price wedge. A picture perfect example. We also gave you guys, you get the previous low of day down bottom here too. That was another target for us as well. Took my first trade short, -10, stopped out. It becomes a wave pattern short. We're back in. I put one target at 35. That's the open. Another target all the way down at the lows. And just like we talked about earlier, this was a little bit like long-term investing because it took between literally 9:40 It sat through the 10:30 news, and it was just obviously the trading gods must have been watching out for us today because it did push the news lower. This morning was great because when we were sitting in this trade at 10:15, we positioned ourselves so that if the trade went against us, we'd be taken out quickly. If the trade continued to go lower, we set up an automated trailing stop that every 10 ticks of profit, it would lock up 10 more ticks. So the stop would always be 10 ticks away from the current price as it tumbled. And it was amazing. As the news came out, we witnessed as it just bam, 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 price keeps dropping. Every 10 more ticks of profit on the runner, stop trailed 10 more ticks to make sure that it didn't stranglehold that trade to death. And we ended up at the end of this move taking our profit out all the way at the low of the range. Again, we had this price wedge that was here, and the goal was to sell the highs and buy the lows, or sell the highs and take your profit of the lows. And that's exactly what we did. Now, it's really too bad because ever since we got that short, we tried to keep getting back in. We just couldn't it just couldn't work out. Very sloppy moves here. We literally got a half an hour of great price action, and it went right back to sleep. Now, right now, we are waiting here to get long back above the previous low of day. I would assume here, folks, that we're going to see that 88 even tested. If you press your F8 key, double click on the high here, right? We're anticipating 88 to be retested again. At least the 86.67. So I would expect to see by the end of the session this afternoon up to that 87.67, up to that 88 even, possibly all the way back up here to the high of that wedge. Alrighty, no doubt in my mind we're going to keep going higher here. The question I have though is how and when. Will we go back down a little bit and then go higher, right? So I can't just jump into the trade yet. I'm going to have to wait for a wave pattern long above that previous low of day. Take your profit off at the resistance levels marked on this chart overhead. And don't forget, members, if you'd like me to go over all this, right? If you'd like me to go over all this in trading today, I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to. So an excellent job today. Obviously, we can't be upset about this at all. Making 50 ticks, making $500 on probably what will be one of the most challenging days of the summertime. Keep in mind, this is the last week of July. We'll be going into the 1st of August next week, and we're going to see this completely change its market personality for the better. I've always looked forward to the month of August. The last week of August and the first week of September, not so much, but the entire month of August is usually pretty good to us. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and spending their time with us on their trial. If you're a trial guest right now, we appreciate you being here. My name is Joseph James. Keep in touch with any questions. Members, you guys and gals know how much you guys rock. Keep up the hard work.